Hi traders, will gold prices trade higher? That's what I'm going to be looking at in today's video. Join me in a second. So gold prices have jumped the past couple of days. We've found some support down at the $18.15 handle, and we're looking to see what's going to happen next to the price of gold. Now, obviously last week we saw a little bit of downside to that US dollar, which has helped fuel gold prices move higher. We've also obviously had some developments in the conflict in Israel, so that also could potentially set that sort of risk tone in the market, where we're going to see a little bit of risk off, may see some rush into safe havens, and gold may benefit from the back of something like that. So there is potential for gold prices to trade a little bit higher, but where could it go to? What are those key support and resistance levels that we need to keep our eyes on? Let's dive straight in here. So I'm on the daily chart. We've pointed out the $18.15 level in the past. The reason why we focused on this area was because it was the support back here in March, and we were looking to see if price, once it traded through this kind of 1880 area, would it move down to the next level of support. We also pointed out a couple of volume levels through this area, but when price got to those volume levels, it ignored the previous areas where buyers had come in the past. So the next area after that was this low of 18.15. Now price has come into that low. We can see some developments here, and I like to always look at how price action reacts at different levels of support and resistance. And on this daily chart, it does tell us a story of what's happening here. We had lots of aggressive selling coming down into this level, and then for the majority of last week going into Friday's close, we went a bit sideways, and then on Friday we had a good little boost to the upside with that US dollar weakness that came into play. So you can see Friday closed as a really strong bullish engulfing candle, but the prior candles before that showed us that the selling momentum was fading here. Okay, we had those three really tight ranging candlesticks, really low range candles compared to what we've seen previously. Then we've had a really strong bullish candlestick with that engulfing candle, and today that momentum has followed through. Price has reached nearly the highs of 1860. So that tells me that buyers are getting involved here, right? Buyers are getting involved down in towards this 1815, and they're pushing prices higher. They don't see price staying down at those levels. They want to be long. Just want to interrupt this analysis to say, what are your thoughts on gold? Drop a comment down below. That means that we need to look for an area of resistance for price to potentially come into. Now, one area, just to point out the obvious, is back at that 1880 area where these lows formed previously. We can see price traded through that low quite aggressively. So that's one area I would be looking to say that is a potential spot of interest. Now, you know I love volume analysis, so I'm going to go onto the fixed volume profile. I'm just going to go down from the swing high to current price. I want to see where that volume's been building in the past and whether it comes at key areas. So what I noticed is around about this $18.75 area. So if I just pop in a resistance level around this point, so I'm just going to make that 18.75, click OK, and then I'm going to wrap it in a text in a rectangle box here just to point out that there's that high volume area through here. What you'll also notice is that there's a lot of high volume down towards that 1824 area. So what I'm looking at potentially is one or two things. Is price going to rally? Where's it going to rally to? Well, the first area of interest for me would be up at this 1875 area. The second would be those lows around about 1880 again. Now, what if I wanted to be long in this market? What would the sensible thing to do would be? Well, it'd be getting long where those buyers have stepped in. We've had this consolidation down here. We know buyers have won because buyers have dragged price and pushed price above this consolidation zone. So it makes sense for me to try and buy where buyers are been active or have been active in the past. So if price can come back down towards this 1820 level, find some bullish price action, maybe sort of like a low test candle or a pin candle or whatever you want to call them, then that could be a sign that buyers are stepping back in at previous levels where they've been involved in the past. That could then mean that we drive up to that 1875. Obviously, depending on how the conditions trade this week, we do have obviously US data coming up, so that could obviously influence the price of gold. But from a technical perspective, you want to be looking to get long where big players have been involved in the past. Now, when I say big players, it just means that they're the ones that push those prices around, you know. And if I was to go to this daily chart and just zoom out, if I was to just kind of say to you, take a screenshot, mark up the areas that you'd really want to get involved with the market, you would always pick out these kind of turning points, these highs that form in the market and these lows, right? Because that's the obviously clear areas where prices are turned around. So that's what we want to look for again. Does price come back into a key low? Does it then push back to the upside essentially? So hopefully you enjoyed this video update. If you did, please leave this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to see some more Forex trading content, and I'll speak to you in the next video.